Hello, welcome to Friday Leadership Deep Dive. I am Monica Vegalam. I'm a leadership and executive coach, and this is the show where I dive deeper into leadership, developmental psychology, and get a bit of lens from spirituality into this, so that we can get the results we want and make more impact through our work. So, today our topic is about work life balance and how solving for work life balance actually helps you grow as a leader and get a breakthrough in how you deal with people. I don't know where I'm looking. Let me adjust that. Give me a moment. See if I am live and everything is fine. So this is the part you have to hang out because it's live show. Okay, there is subtitles. Okay, let's not dwell on this. We have four live viewers. Thank you for coming, and let's get started. So I'll give away the core message first here. So the thing that is in the way of having a amazing, fulfilling personal life with great relationships or great personal well-being and feeling really good about a certain area of your life, like the thing that is in the way of that is the same thing, could be the same thing that could be hindering the potential of your leadership. So um, the how that works is basically we have to kind of chart a way of how our subconscious mind works, and look at this concept called context. So that's something that I do with my coaching clients, and that I'm going to explain that a little more and give some examples, and potentially give you some tips and starting points so that you can start your own inquiry into how I can solve one area of my life and then have everything else also covered, and then have overall a 10 by 10 experience of life. Okay, so the one of the biggest misconceptions that I have heard, and I have a lot of trouble digesting and sitting with, is the fact that, okay, if you want to start a company, if you are an executive, or if you want to grow as a leader, you have to compromise. You have to compromise on work life balance. You just have to put in more work hours. You have to go socialize after work, so that you form relationships, etc., etc., etc. And I have a hard time sitting with that kind of narrative, because um, it's simply not true. There are people who are able to have everything together and have success, and also known as great leaders. And I remember uh, when I was an engineer at Microsoft, and I just had, I think I was just back from my maternity leave, and I went and had this conversation with somebody, like a leader, I think skip level leader. And I said, okay, I want to get to the next level. How do I make that happen? And then this manager told me, well, if you want to get there faster, that means you have to put in some more hours. And I was a little kind of like, at that time, I didn't know better, but I had trouble with that idea. Like, no, I don't want to compromise. So, what happens is that when this feels like a conflicting thing, like, well, I am ambitious, but I also want to make sure I have time for my kids, I have time for my health, I want to have a lot of energy outside of my work as well. And when these things seem conflicting, they kind of nag us in the back all the time. So we take that narrative. Well, I kind of took that narrative, and I, like me being a rebel, I was like, I have to find a way out of this. um, let's I think I won't tell much of the story there, because then after some time I um, came out of Microsoft, and then I became a coach, and then it clicked. Oh yeah, this is how you do that. So that's why I want to share those things with you, where it is possible to have to like break out of these narratives that make certain things that we want conflicting. Now this may not be just about a work life balance. This could broadly even apply to certain truths that we are not able to hold together. Like, how can I be strategic and also fair to my employees? How can I be um, empathetic but also rigorous and get the work done? So these are the things, they feel like, if I do one thing, the other thing will get compromised, and if I do this thing, this other thing will, I'll have to compromise on that. So I have to walk this fine balance, and if I slip a little bit, everything is going to go to hell. So those are the things that we often face. Oh, I hope that didn't cause any disturbance. Let me see. Yeah, so we try to like this, walk this fine balance all the time, and check ourselves, keep everything very controlled, and um like reining some 7 horses or something like that. And if something, a little thing goes wrong, everything seems like it's going to break. Like, for example, if I am managing my work and my personal life, like let's say being, I'm trying to make sure I'm present with my kid, and I'm trying to like, okay, these are the hours I'm going to spend here, and I'm going to shut off my work at 5 o'clock, and I'm going to be present with her. And 10 o'clock is the time, or 9 o'clock is the time I go in. So like we set up these systems and structures and everything to kind of walk that fine balance, so that we can hold these conflicting truths, or things that seem like very hard to manage together. um, what happens is that some, like one little thing goes wrong, and it becomes suddenly like this overwhelming experience that we cannot handle. Like one day my daughter says, I don't want to go to school, and I'm like, no, but I have meetings, you have to go, and I have clients I need to talk to, you have to go. So then from that place, um, how I be with her is against my goal of how I want to manage my relationships, or how I want to be in my relationships. So all of that to say that there are certain ideas and spaces we feel that are conflicting, and when we try to manage these with certain systems, processes, and very tightly bound containers, um, one thing leads to like a cascade of dominoes, and suddenly we are overwhelmed, and we are like in the sense of urgency, and not able to manage it all. Like, no wonder we feel so stressed, and our health numbers are so bad, and all of that stuff. So we got some new live viewers. Hey, thanks for joining. What we are talking about today is about how work life balance and leadership, and seem like these conflicting ideas, and they seem at odds with each other. And I was trying to make an argument till now that the obvious way we try to fix that is to create some systems so that we walk a fine line, and that kind of uh, is not sustainable, because life is such that things come, things happen, and we are it kind of sends us into this overwhelming experience, and then um, we are and things start to like cascade like dominoes once that happens. So what is it that we can do so that we can handle these two things? When I say these two things, one is the work life balance, the other one is being very ambitious in your career. So the first thing is to examine our relationship to certain facts, emotions, and the results we create. What I mean by that is that, let's say your report or your manager is frustrated with you, or they show certain emotion in a meeting. So that is a fact because we cannot change that. That's not in our control. Um, like we might have caused that in a certain way. There might be something that we could have done to prevent certain reactions. But how much ever we manage, there are certain things that are outside of our control. So that it's a fact. If oops, my screen went blank. Okay, so it's a fact when a person reacts a certain way in that moment to us. Now, what is my relationship to that fact? That is something we examine. As in, if somebody gets angry at me, how am what am I making that mean? For me, I make that mean that something is wrong with me, or I am bad, or I did something wrong, or I did this like huge horrible mistake that they are reacting that way. Or another relationship I have to that is that they are bad and they should not react that way. Now the same thing with emotions itself. Like if I am angry, that means it's a bad thing, and that I should improve and I should not get angry at all, and blah blah blah. And if I am not getting results, then I have a relationship to that fact. So there is a thing, and then there is a relationship to the thing. So when we change, like re- reality is such that we can't change the facts or the environment around us, but we can change our relationship to it. So when we change our relationships, our experience of how we perceive that fact changes. So for example, the same taking the same example of somebody reacting badly, or somebody making like an angry statement about let's say your performance, how it like for some people it can trigger them, and for some people it can some people kind of take that, it triggers them, and then they um, respond or react in certain ways. And for some other people, they just take that on, and they kind of like, I have to do something about it. So whatever is a reaction, or the action from there is determined by the relationship that we have. And when we, let's say, change that relationship, when we kind of, it is possible to see somebody as like, huh, okay, it seems they're angry. Okay, is there something you need in this moment? So when we are calm and present, or when we are like, seems like they are having a bad day, whatever that other relationship is, if we are able to shift from this to that, our action changes and we create a new reality in that dynamic. Now what persists these relationships is the beliefs we have about certain things. And this is what I call in my coaching practice as context. A context is the way we look at the world, as in the lens or the vantage point from which the world makes sense to us. It's how we make meaning out of things. It is formed by daily observations, looking at certain people and certain phenomena outside. And it is formed by books we read, ideas, and it's the most important source of this context is our childhood experiences and our early adulthood experiences. So let's see. Sorry, one second. I got, and let me close that and close a bunch of tabs. Okay, so that should do it. All right. So the context is informed by beliefs, and these beliefs make us take certain actions, and those actions make us like create environment, creates our environment, and this environment reinforces the beliefs. So that's kind of the concept of a context. Now I'll explain that with an example. So I have a PDF here, which my coach has made, and if you want to get more into detail about this, just send me a DM and I'll send this around to you, so you can understand this better. So let's take one belief, and okay, the catch here is that we try to like, one of the popular things in the coaching industry is saying, like, find out your limiting beliefs and then rewrite them, reframe them, change your mindset, fix your mindset. That doesn't work, because let me tell you why that doesn't work after I explain this. So we have beliefs about everything. Okay, so one of the beliefs that we can take is that in order to make money, I have to work hard. And we don't just have that belief about ourselves, we have that belief in general as like the universal truth. Like, if you don't work hard, you will, I mean, lucky people might make money, but in general people won't make money. So from that belief, I take certain actions where to prove that belief, and all of this is subconscious, mind you. So all my actions will be aligned with this belief. I'll put myself in environments where I work hard, and hard work is rewarded with a lot of money. And I will put extra hours. Let's say I'll put 80 hours, and that means that I prove my competence. I kind of help more people and have more impact. So then I'll be rewarded with higher positions, bigger scope, more number of reports. So then I'll get bigger salary and more bonuses. So we are always trying to prove our beliefs to ourselves, and we take actions aligned with that. So we kind of tend to naturally go towards opportunities that give us money, because I believe that I have to work hard. And you might also decide that, well, I don't want to work that hard, so I'm going to uh, prioritize my personal life. So I'll cut back on my ambitious goals and then just focus here and do the bare minimum at my work. So then what that proves is that I am not working hard, so I won't get money. And that's okay, because that's like the truth, and I guess I'll just accept it. So then what that does is you start working less, and you start focusing less on the impact, and finally people perceive it as, oh, this guy is not that invested in the job, or they're not that committed, and then they um, don't trust you to take on more. I'm trying to think of what happens next. Yeah, and there is one more thing here that you may think that um, good life needs money, so I'll just try to find ways to live a good life without needing money. So then you might get into like minimalism and um, whatever adjacent, like get do farmsteading, etc., like that. Now that's all okay, it's not wrong. It's just that it is in aligned, it is aligned with a belief we have about money and hard work. It's my relationship to money, and it's my relationship to hard work. And then what happens is that we naturally choose jobs like becoming a lawyer or becoming a senior engineer, or we set the culture in such a way that hard work is rewarded, and then we keep ourselves in that cycle. So this since this belief does not have a lot of room for making money without working hard, uh, we keep like propagating that. And then we feel that whoever is kind of like going climbing up the ladder without working hard, we get like jealous of them, or like they must be running politics. And then like there's like whole lot of judgment about people who don't conform to this belief. So we build a world around us in the sense that we associate with people who are aligned with this belief and whom we like, or even the opposite. We associate with people who seem like so free, and they do like creative work, they don't care about money, etc. And that kind of fascinates us because that's like the exact opposite of our belief. And we judge these people who tend to get lucky, or we judge people as running politics, or whatever that is, whatever they are doing in their relationships, and then we isolate them. And that's like these we surround ourselves with people who reinforce that belief to us, and hence we fall into the same cycle again and again. So this is how this works. It's basically a world we create, and then we preserve, maintain, sustain with all the energy by taking actions within the world. So it's like a recursive function that we keep getting ourselves in. And all of us have it, nobody is spared from it. And I feel like that's how the human experience works. And why that is because we want to the source of it comes from certain painful experiences or conditioning that we had, either growing up or certain events that were traumatic to us. And the mind compartmentalizes that and never wants to touch those. So then we build a whole world so that we don't touch that. So the root of a context is a particular story and an emotion. So let's say I have a story that um, mm, anger is bad, because when I was I was in a certain experience which caused a lot of discomfort for me when somebody was angry. So that is my story then becomes like, I can't do this, I am helpless, or this is too hard, I cannot manage. And this is a subconscious story that my brain keeps telling me whenever I sense that somebody else is going to react a certain way, or they're going to have an emotional experience. So then I try to like get out of it, or I try to manage so that that doesn't happen. All And I do like a lot of things just to avoid touching that story and the emotion. And the basic solution, and it sounds like so simplistic, but it is really that, which is to go dive into our subconscious experience and really feel the emotions and the stories that we create. And then from there, we can practice stepping out of the default context that we have into something else. So let's say the context we have is, in order to make money you have to work hard. Then we can slowly start stepping out of that context, and practicing looking at the ways I make money mean something to me. I make results mean something, so that I work extra hard, or I make taking action mean that I'm going to get money or not get money from that. So this is now, this seems like almost like tangential to the topic we are talking about, which is work life balance um, and leadership potential. But this is what we discover. This is what I discover with my clients and myself in my own journey. Like, the my work life balance, or my ability to be with my family, with my daughter, or the ability to be with my client, is completely driven by my ability to come out of the stories my subconscious is telling me, to come out of the context that I have built for myself, and the context that has so much gravity. And when you really dive deep into this work, you will find that there are so many stories that we have, that I am weak, or that I never get what I want, or that people always take advantage of me, or that I have imposter syndrome, and imposter syndrome is bad. Even that is a story. Or fear, I'm too afraid, I'm too scary, I get too nervous about everything, and I'm an introvert. All of these are stories that we have. And when I say stories, it's not to dismiss that they don't have any reality. They do. Like, you have experiences that prove those stories, and that's why we have them. But they are stories nonetheless. They are our interpretation of the facts that happen. They are mind's way of making meaning of the things that happen to us. So, what I'm trying, my overall point is that when you're struggling with work life balance, or you're struggling with reaching full potential, like, even if either is a starting point, you start there, and then trace yourself way back to the beliefs you hold, the actions you take from those beliefs, and the environment that we build, so the context that we have, and trace yourselves back into the emotions that dictate that context. And when we solve all of that, it becomes like simple and easy to hold two things together, two conflicting things together, like work life balance and career ambition. So what happens is that we build this capacity to come out of trying to get only one perspective or one reality happen. We can hold like multiple realities. Okay, so let's see, what else do I have here? So the some practical tips. Let's say you feel like a very rushed, you're hustling all the time, or you are really struggling with this fact, with this thing about work life balance, or with relationships. One of the things is to notice where something really frustrates you, annoys you, or on the flip side, you feel like really flat about something. Like, I'm trying to get an example of this, but basically something big happens and we don't have like such a reaction to it. Like, you get fired and you're like, okay, fine, I'll just move on to the next thing. That is kind of weird, because We don't let events impact us. And I have like a part of me that's like that, and a part of me that reacts a lot, which is I get very, like, really intensely frustrated or overwhelmed with certain situations. And there are certain situations I'm like, whatever, I guess that's how the world works. um, so what happens is that these are both of these ways we avoid, try to be in the full experience of what is happening. So we are trying to avoid the emotion. So the practical thing to do is to, whenever you feel these things, ask ourselves, what am I feeling right now? So take a breath, pause, identify your feelings, um, in very specific ways. Not like, I feel like, nothing ever good happens. That's a story and a judgment. That's an interpretation, not an emotion. So we want to, like, go back and back again until we are able to identify the feeling. Huh, I am sad that I'm not able to understand that I'm not able to understand anything that's happening in this meeting. Huh, I'm angry that these people are discussing, overthinking, discussing, but they are not reaching any conclusion. So once we touch what is it that I'm feeling, then from that place we can come with a powerful request to change what is happening. Like, you can request somebody that, hey, can you explain that again? Or, I think that this is some other way we can do it, instead of projecting our whole experience on the environment and kind of trying to, struggling really hard to change the environment. Let's see. So in the case of work life balance and career goals, it's the same principle. If I feel like I want this promotion, or I want this particular job, or I want to create this kind of culture, and I want to get this much of pay, and that's just not happening. Examine, like, your relationship there, how you are relating to people, how you're relating to the situation, and then trace it back to, what am I feeling right now, and how is my worldview sustaining not feeling this, and then what do I need to do from here. So when you develop the capacity to be with those feelings and the stories our mind creates, these things that seem very conflicting kind of start to feel easier to be with. You kind of seamlessly walk through these two separate realities almost. So that's what I have for you. And there are methods, many. There is like an emotional inquiry method that I lead my clients through. And there is also something called distinguished inquiry, which is basically like getting idea of the whole context that we are operating in, as in the world, how we build our worlds and the worldview and our vantage point through which we look at the world. So there are practices and inquiries to get deeper into that. And this kind of awareness is generally not available. You can assume, like, even if you're really highly self-aware, even if you are a really good meditator from a long time, this context is kind of almost invisible to you, because that's the blind spot we all carry. It's literally like the spot in our eyeballs that we don't um, it's literally like that, we can't see it. It is something that is totally invisible to us, and people around us can kind of, like, guess. but like guess parts of it. So getting into inquiry and then examining your experience in and getting into like the emotions that all of this generates can help a lot to give you that 10 by 10 experience of your career and also your personal life. It can help you manage both, get the results you want in your career, and also develop deep meaningful relationships and develop really healthy um, nice way of living your life. So that if you're interested in these inquiry methods, reach out to me. I am planning to teach these outside of one-on-one coaching. So if that's something you're interested in, and if you feel called to this kind of work to dive deeper into your subconscious mind and create different results so that you can hold all these conflicting ideas and things that you're struggling with, reach out and let's connect and talk. Um Even if not, the simplest way to start is to start understanding your emotions and beliefs and examining them. I do have a PDF about it created by my coach, as I told you. Send me a DM and I'll send it across to you. All right, that's all I have for today, and I hope you have an amazing weekend, and we'll catch up again next week. Bye.